What's going on, everybody? Happy July 4th weekend. My name is Ted, aka Steady. Joining me on this very random Sunday night stream is one, the only Brian Ortiz. What's going on, sir?
Hello, sir. How you doing?
Fantastic. It's superhero Comic Con week, ladies and gentlemen. Where's my. There it is. Superhero Comic Con and Car Show 2023 week, brought to you by the Ace Experience. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But tonight, specifically, we're going to give you guys our instant reaction. Not instant, but our reaction to Mission Impossible 7, also known as Dead Reckoning. Spoiler alert, Tom Cruise is a madman, but that's the only spoiler I'm going to give away. And before we get to that, just a quick word from our sponsor. All right, everybody. Please like and subscribe this stream. And like I mentioned, before we get to our sort of big story of the night where we react to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, I just want to remind you guys, if you are in the San Antonio area, the South Texas area, this weekend is the one and only Superhero Comic Con and Car Show. We've been talking about this since beginning of the year, and it's almost here. You're gonna get Elizabeth Olsen, Andrew Garfield, Brie Larson, Haley Steinfeld, like these top actors and actresses from Marvel, Game of Thrones, the Star Wars universe, and you even got some like sports athletes. Tony Parker's going to be there. You got stars from AEW. It's just going to be absolutely incredible. If you're in the area, you need to buy your tickets right now. If you want more information, all you got to do is go to pmxevents.com to get ticket information, pricing for your autographs, your photo ops, anything you want. It's all there. It's going to be glorious. And if you haven't already heard, we're going to be there. We're going to have a booth on site. So come by, say hi. We're going to have giveaways all weekend long, kind of prizes, freebies, some photo opportunities at our booth. And myself and Tommy from the Countdown City WrestleCast, we're going to be moderating panels on the IHOP Expo Hall Celebrity Stage all weekend long. So come by, say hi. It's going to be a fabulous time. Star Wars Stuff Podcast, who's going to be joining us, hyped for the Comic Con and car show. Absolutely, sir. He knows what's up. Yeah, we're gonna have a great time. Brian,
Yeah.
the thing you are anticipating most at this convention, go.
I finally get to have an autograph that I've been dying to get for a while. I know it, and it's not one you might think. There's like a ton of amazing guests, like high level guests, right? You know what I'm saying? But for me, and they're all high level, don't get me wrong. But for me, I want Ming Na Wen, and I want her to sign my Stargate Universe Blu-ray set that I have, because I love her in Stargate Universe. Like, I know that that's not everyone's favorite of the universe world, but which, by the way, I don't think we talk enough Stargate. We got to talk more Stargate on all of these networks, bro. That it's such a huge fan base, and it's so great. I'm a huge fan. So she was in that series. I loved it. It's one of my top favorites. It was kind of my major introduction to her. So I look forward to sharing that with her, getting to talk to her about it, and just kind of seeing what she says about it, because she's so famous for so many things now and then too. But this was my passion, my love. So I can't wait to talk to her about it.
I was going through her sort of credits of everything that she's done, and she has like just a ton of things, like over 100, I think, or close to 100 acting credits, and she's been in things I had no idea. ER, Law and Order SVU, Boston Legal,
Yeah.
the George Lopez show. Like, where when did this happen?
She's working, man. She's been working for a long time. That's why she deserves all the damn success that she has now. You know what I'm saying? Playing these massive roles in these massive franchises. She worked to get there, and she worked really hard, man. Really hard.
I can't wait. I can't wait. She's gonna be a incredible panelist when we when we see her this weekend. Star Stuff Podcast says we will have some Ming-Na Fennec Shand Funko Pops to give away
Ooh.
on Saturday. You're going to want to get those signed, believe me. Awesome, awesome. And he says also Ming-Na got her star on the Walk of Fame last month. You know what? They've finally been
Oh my
picking
god,
up with that stuff.
finally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've really
Being
been
a lot of
cranking those
actors
out.
who there's been a lot of actors who've just recently gotten their stuff, and it's mind-boggling to some of the people. Like, I know that, only recently did we get, like, James Hong got his, like, star. And you're kinda
Yeah.
like, "What? This dude's credit list is massive. How could he not?" You know what I'm saying? How could he
Um,
not?
Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher got hers about like a month, maybe month and a half. Wasn't too long ago when that happened. That was an emotional one, of course.
Yeah.
Mark was there, of course.
Oh,
Yeah, I think.
jeez.
Gosh, there's been a ton. Even like Ludacris got his star on the Walk of Fame, and that's
Finally, Luda
been
got a
busy.
star, baby. Woo!
Luda, baby,
It's
yeah.
Luda, baby. If you're our age, you know what the hell we're talking about, baby. Luda.
Exactly, exactly.
Holding it down, son. I love that man.
He was great in what was it? Crash. Crash is so underrated. I think, even though it got a lot of accolades when it came out, like nobody's talked about it a lot since then, and he had a great part in it. So shout out to Luda, wherever he's
Impressive.
at.
I know Luda, the longtime podcast listener for us, and Countdown City Geek, and super number one fan. Luda, this is for you, baby. So we're out there. We're talking to you, Luda.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
If you're headed to the con this weekend, let us know. Who are you most excited to see at the convention? Full schedules are now up on their website. And once again, don't forget, come see us at our booth.
Yeah. We'll
Um,
be there. It'll be awesome. And come talk to
absolutely.
us too. I always love talking to people. I get to do the opportunity. I know my face isn't seen much on here often, but I do get to do a lot of movie reviews as someone who has been like recently joined and gotten to meet everyone. I get to do a lot of fun movie reviews with people like this, or I get to do some of my solo ones with these great screeners that come to me. But I love talking movies. So if you see me, I'm wearing my little, shirt with the name. Stop me. Let's talk about movies for a while. Let me know what you're seeing because I will talk about it till the cows come home. So please hit us up. It'll be super fun.
I'm crossing my fingers that we're going to have a big movie pass giveaway by the time this con rolls around. The next
Oh
big summer
yeah.
movie on the docket, of course, other than Mission Impossible, which we're going to talk about in a second, is Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. And so, if everything works out, we're going to have passes to give away this weekend at Superhero Comic Con and Car Show. Free advanced screening passes. All
We
right.
need to start confusing people by saying Christopher Nolan's Barbie. Just really mess with people's brain. Greta Gerwig's Oppenheimer. Just see if anyone picks up that we're just going wrong with it.
Starring Killian Murphy.
This is the craziest, best double feature marketing scheme I have ever seen, and I think it's friggin' beautiful. The memes online are just damn delicious for Barbie and Oppenheimer at the same time. What a far enough part like movie opening for two films, man, and I'm here for it. Double feature it, man. Get your Barbie in the morning, get your Oppenheimer at night.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Oh, man. Well,
Are you excited? Who are you excited for, by the way? You haven't told me. Who are you excited for at the
oh my
con? There's
gosh.
so many. I really also want to hear Andrew Garfield talk because I
It's
love his theater background, and I'm hoping that he touches on that a little bit at the convention. As amazing, he's a great Spider-Man, but I kind of want to hear about some of his theater background because it's so good. You know what I mean?
honestly, that's who it is. It's like, he's like a kind of a unicorn in the convention space. Andrew Garfield doesn't do these a lot, and he even does less panels than that, and I really haven't seen him in this setting since No Way Home, I believe. So, like, it's
Yeah.
just so cool now that, like, we finally get to kind of reciprocate our feelings about this like massive movie that can never be done again. Like you can never imitate or redo the nostalgic feelings and emotions that we got watching that movie from like two generations of Spider-Man coming back into a film,
Yeah.
to all like work together. They weren't like cameos. They weren't just throwaway roles in that movie. So for me, it's Andrew Garfield. It's getting to see the legend himself up close, and just hopefully getting to speak with him for a little bit. But uh, we're gonna be super busy, and it's all worth it. It's completely worth it. This is gonna be one of the most massive conventions in the country. That's not like that kind of quadruple A top tier
Yeah.
promotional conventions like San Diego or New York.
Yeah.
This is peak though. Like this is as high as you can get
Yeah.
without kind of flipping into that other atmosphere or echelon of conventions. So yeah,
The
super
the
stoked. Can't
caliber
wait.
the caliber of talent and celebrities that are coming this year are just astronomical. And I've actually been to every one of these conventions in San Antonio. When they started out at the hotel on the north side of San Antonio at Celebrity Fan Fest and with Jason Momoa, and like I was standing in there with my Stargate Atlantis uniform. I remember they parked us like in some sort of like field, and then they bust us to the hotel. And I remember thinking, like, this isn't going to survive. This is no way this is going to become a con. And yet, I couldn't have been more happily wrong, because here we are years later. Freaking Andrew Garfield and Elizabeth Olsen, you know what I'm saying? And just caliber is showing up to San Antonio, Texas. You can't be more grateful, man.
Shout out to the entire um, PMX team. Shout out to the promoters, Bob and Peggy, who they work tirelessly to kind of put an event of this magnitude on, and they've been so gracious and helpful with our team. You couldn't ask for more. And if you are a cosplayer, there's going to be a massive cosplay contest run by our friends at Con Culture Podcast. Juan and his team are some of the best people that we know, so
Yeah.
go check them out and sign up for that cosplay contest early, because they're allowing a ton of contestants. So you want to make sure you don't get left out of that.
I
Free
can't wait to see that.
arcade, yeah, free arcade, free refills on your popcorn buckets all weekend long. There's musical acts, there's comedy acts, there's so much. This is such a diverse event, and yet it's still got that sort of small convention type feel associated with it, even though you have these mega stars in Marvel and Star Wars that are attending. So we can't wait, and I hope you are excited to come by, come see us, win some stuff at our booth. We'll be located at I guess it's aisle D, and then we're number 113, or just remember D113. We're close to the IHOP celebrity panel stage, so by all means, please come check that out.
Come on out.
Sweet. Now for the main topic of the night. This is going to be our Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning reaction video. So no spoilers here. You don't have to worry. You don't have to like stop this video now. But we're just going to talk briefly about our experience in the film. And as I started this stream, I'm going to reiterate what I said earlier. Tom Cruise is a madman, and I mean that very sincerely and with all due respect. And he's owed a lot. I mean, I know, and we all know. He's known for doing his own stunts, and he's known for kind of pushing the envelope. But this is a movie that really deserves high praise, not for just his stunt work, but the amount of attention to detail that him and Christopher McQuarrie put into this film. Everything from the story arcs of each of their characters to the amount of the the choreographing of the action sequences, and of course these just mega awesome stunts that they pulled off, and Tom himself doing like multiple of them. I could not praise this movie more. It was just a sight to behold. It was a freaking experience throughout. I felt like I was having anxiety attacks just watching Tom Cruise
Yeah.
being Tom Cruise, and it was just fantastic. Brian, say stuff.
Ted, do me a favor. Sit back. Sit back. All right. You close your eyes, Ted. The year is 1996. All right. Some of the best cartoons and TV show are on television right now.
Yeah.
But we as an audience haven't seen Mission Impossible, I believe, since like the last time was like 1990 with a very short-lived TV show, 88 to 90, right? That's
Right.
it. It was dead. It was gone. There's nothing more left for it. Mission Impossible is a dead franchise, Ted. But you pop your TV on in the middle of one of your shows that you're watching, all of a sudden there's a trailer for what? Mission Impossible, 1996, starring the awesomely hot and attractive and badass Tom Cruise. And we all of a sudden we have this generational connection from the original show, right? From the 60s to now, bringing it, modernizing it. Freaking, was it Brian De Palma?
Oh
You know
my
what I'm
god.
saying? Directing the first one, names, all kinds of stuff, right? The awesome Ving Rhames shows up. All of a sudden, here we are, what, 27 years later, and we are now watching Dead Reckoning Part 1. And all I can say is that in 27 years, these movies have not only been fun and exciting, but have maintained a level of getting better on each one and not trying to top the one before. It's not a game. It's not like, you know what we did in this one? We did blank. So we got to go even harder. No, it's not about going harder. It's about what's the next story, character, and stunt evolution of this piece.
Sure.
Each movie is a representation practically or area of the decade it came out in, which is something is insane to say. Whether you're watching Mission Impossible 1 to Mission Impossible 2 to Mission Impossible 3, three different eras of filmmaking with audiences who like different things. Dead Reckoning is a movie for us today with a lot of very lovely shout outs to its predecessors, whether it's in design, clothing, stunts, dialogue, something subtle, not like in your face, but subtle. If you're a fan, you know it. And I loved every single friggin' moment of this dang movie. And I'm sorry, I will be a fanboy and I might be biased because I've loved every single one of these damn movies across the board. And I am happy, absolutely happy to say that this movie lives up to the hype of that trailer for me. And the only downfall of this entire movie, Ted, and I told you this in the theater, the only downfall is we don't get to see part two right away. That's the problem. That's the problem. That's the
Uh,
problem.
this movie had me on the edge of my seat the entire time, and I know that like people claim that happens or frequently, but not for me. But this movie did it. This movie kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time. It's compelling from start to finish, even when there's no acting. I mean, sorry, even when there's no action sequences and there's
Right.
just dialogue, whether it's Ving, whether it's Simon Pegg, whether it's Haley Atwell, who is a
Oh,
fantastic addition to this franchise, by the way.
yes.
Everything that's
Yeah.
happening on screen is so damn compelling and so damn engaging. I was invested like thoroughly from start to finish. The biggest, most just mind blowing aspect of this film for me is that it is it will never be more relevant plot wise than right now. Like
Yeah.
the thing that the plot surrounds it, I never watched the trailer for this, so I don't know if they talk about the plot per se in the trailer, but the plot for this movie will never be more relevant than it is in this day and age in 2023 because this is a very talked about heated topic like across multiple industries and avenues, mostly Hollywood and entertainment. But it's just I'm like, you developed this movie probably like years ago. How in God's name did you kind of figure out that this was going to be like the prime exact moment for this movie to get released? I think it's just baffling how relevant it is right now. And
Yeah.
again, no spoilers, but in the back of your mind, you're just thinking to yourself like, "Oh my God, this is like this could be was it art imitating life? This could be
Yeah.
what the future holds." And it's just wild. It's mind-boggling. It's just bravo to the writers of this movie.
I think what's brilliant about that too, to try not to spoil about it, is like it's not a new, so I would say like it's not a new concept, right?
You're
The
right.
the
You're
the
absolutely
thing,
right.
but the way they refresh it and make it for our time is amazing. And again, maybe in the future we could talk about. There's another movie that has a similar villain, but that was very to its time. It's not the same as it is now. It was very for that era and that decade, and here we are now with this new version of this thing, and it feels correct. You're like, that fits perfect. And it also fits within the context of the Mission Impossible universe that Tom Cruise has created. When you look back and you see all the things that happens, this feels like a natural organic evolution in that storyline and in that world. And that's something I really love about it. They didn't pull this card sooner. They're pulling it at the end, which I think is outstanding. Because I will say this: of all the ones I've ever seen, this villain feels the most dangerous of them all, and that's saying something because we've had some excellent bad guys across the board. You know what I'm saying? But this one really makes me nervous. As I was telling you, we're sitting in the seats, and I was just like, dude, I don't know who's gonna live, who's gonna die. I don't know how safe anyone is in this damn franchise, including Tom Cruise. I don't know what you're gonna do. So like it was a very wonderful, like edge of your seat experience because you just don't know what they're gonna pull off at the end of the day.
And like you mentioned, you and I had a quick talk after the movie was over. And yes, it is like you mentioned, a kind of a plot or story that's been done before. But I'll even say, like you said, it was done sort of in a more grounded way, because the way that I've seen this done in recent years, not too recent, like maybe a decade ago, was very sort of comic book ish.
Mhm.
You had to kind of give use your imagination a little bit, like what are the absolute furthest you can take this plot. In that other movie, one was so much more of a grounded way of kind of exercising that plot,
Right.
manipulating characters, manipulating technology for the surrounding the plot and stuff. It was just done in a very creative, um, very different, unique way, and I just absolutely love it. It's so compelling. I don't know what other word to say besides that. It's so damn compelling, and you're sort of being hit from like multiple angles of this film, because it's it's the next step in this franchise. It's also something that is in the headlines every day in the news, and it's this it surrounds technology and the pros and the cons and
Yeah.
the limits that you should or should not have with it, and how far you can take it, and the morality of how far you can take technology. It's so many different things packaged perfectly and nice and neatly into this
Yeah.
one beautiful piece of art. And not to mention, the performances are incredible. I mean,
Yeah,
you'll see
absolutely.
You'll see Ving in a much different light than you've ever seen him before. It's usually Tom Cruise's character, who's always like the leader of the group, who's always kind of the motivator for people, the mentor for everybody, and he's actually not doing that all the time in this film, which I
Right.
love.
Right.
Simon Pegg, I love Simon. He's hilarious. I love his movies with Nick Frost. So anything Simon Pegg is good for me. I'm totally down with him. And then, like I mentioned earlier, Haley Atwell, who is somehow getting younger as the years go
Yeah.
by. She's just a perfect addition to this franchise,
Yeah.
and she's not asked to do a lot, but you're just feeling for her character because she is thrown into something she's not completely aware of. And so I think that's where maybe most of my anxiety came from while watching this. And
Yeah.
I'm using that lightly, right? I'm not saying it
Right.
was like
Yeah.
full blown anxiety, but you feel for her character because she's thrown into this situation, this no win scenario, and she's way over her head throughout the movie, and you kind of feel that
Yeah.
her suffocating throughout the movie. Like she really gives you that emotion throughout, and it's just a wonderful performance by her.
One of the best things is a lot of these movies are about like Ethan Hunt going rogue. Everything is always about him. Sadly, that is the common theme, right? He always has to
Sure.
go rogue because the system's broken. And so it's up to him and a small team of tech specialists. So one of the things though about this movie that I enjoyed was that every and a friend of mine had said this to me when we were talking. My friend that went with us, that a lot of these major sequences, whether they be action or some sort of thing, something big is happening. There's a multi-tiered level pressured system that is happening at the same time. So it's never a single action sequence where like Tom Cruise has to do this. It's Tom Cruise has to do this. But there's also 12 people all broken up into two teams trying to find him at the same time. Well, this is also looking for him and helping out over here. This is also a problem. And it's like multiple things happening at once while Ethan Hunt is trying to achieve his single objective. And
Objective, yeah.
so there's almost a moment, there's a great time where you are welcoming these great moments of character and dialogue because it gives you a chance to breathe. Otherwise, you're just sitting on the edge of your chair and you're like, huh. And the movie does that very well. It actually, to me, as long as it is, it's like a 2 hour and 40 minutes a movie, if I remember correctly. But it definitely doesn't feel like that for me. And maybe for some it might. And that's, I understand. It's hard to sit through those long movies. But for me, the pacing, the movement, the action, the story kept going and kept going. And it spread it throughout the whole piece. And that's just Tom Cruise, the writing, the directors, who I love, is so good at working with the Mission Impossible franchise and trying to tell that story. Also, kudos to them for making a beautifully connected universe, because I think in the beginning these movies were definitely solo missions and they kept replacing, main people and other actors. And then when we hit the part 3 with JJ Abrams, we started to finally like, whoop, something started to change. And then you had Brad Bird and then something kind of evolved. And then now you have what we have now, which is the last 3 or 4 movies have been this beautiful story that they've been trying to tell across a bridge of films, which is awesome, which I think they do
My
well.
my last comment about this film is the great S.I. Morales, who I feel like
Oh,
we're in this sort of renaissance of his, because of course the first time I watched him, he was Richie's older brother in La Bamba, giving
yeah.
a very emotional performance, of course. And then like a few years ago, he's playing Deathstroke on DC's Titans, and
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing, and he was incredible for what he was given to do, but still, he looked menacing and he was perfect. He was giving off pure Deathstroke vibes, and now we get him in this
Killed it.
film, and he did exactly what he needed to, and he's incredible. He's phenomenal in this film, and I'm just like, I love it. I mean, he's getting better with age. It's just like a fine wine. This guy, he's so damn good. He's so compelling in this one. I cannot wait for part 2. I have no idea when it comes out, but I'm already all in. I don't know how you can follow this movie up. Is the biggest challenge to me. It's like how do you make a part 2 that should
I
be somewhat on the same level as this? I don't know how you
a
do that.
a part of me is worried that Tom Cruise is like, "The only thing I can do next is kill myself in the middle of this movie." That's the greatest stunt any man could ever do, and that's my fear. He's just gonna go way too hard and die in the middle of this film. Who knows? That's the next evolution for Tom Cruise. But he'll come back. He's Tom Cruise. He always lives.
I'm Tom Cruise and I'm gonna catch a bullet. Like things like that are just gonna happen in the next movie. He's gonna pull a Leroy from the Last Dragon. He's gonna catch a bullet in his teeth.
Yeah, dude.
Ooh,
I think every
Bruce
night he just goes
Leroy.
home and just like glows a little bit, releases energy, de-ages a little bit, and gets back to work.
I saw the featurette to this stunt, this big stunt that they've shown, throughout the trailers in IMAX. Like I feel like 6 months ago. It was a long time ago,
Yeah, I
and
remember.
I was floored when I watched it on IMAX. I'm like, oh my god, that looks incredible. It is 10 times better in the movie, the way they build up the drama and the tension all to this crescendo and everything else, and I'm just like, "How?" I already knew this was coming. I already knew what was gonna happen, and I'm still on the edge of my seat. Unbelievable.
It was outstanding, man, from that whole sequence. Again, every I know that the probably the pillars and the trope of each one of these is that he does some sort of massive stunt. And this one, it ranks evenly in there with the rest of them. With him either side climbing a building, you know what I'm saying? Him holding on to a goddamn plane while it's taking off, whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? He just continues that tradition, and he does it well every time. And I love the stories that come out of it. Things like, when he hires a safety man to come in and they do their job and they say, Tom, you can't do this. He's like, I understand. I respect you. Thank you. Go get another safety guy and be like, hey, how can I do this? Sure. Perfect. We're in. That man is relentless. And I love that about him.
Bravo to Chris. Bravo to Tom, to the entire team, Simon, Ving, Haley, Asai Morales, everybody who's associated with this project. It is a nonstop thrill ride
Yeah.
from the opening start. It had a super long introduction, which is totally fine by me. But the movie started in such a way that I'm like, oh my god, we're still in the intro here. Like the opening credits, like rolled after a while. I'm just like, oh my god,
Yeah.
that's just the beginning. We're in for one hell of a ride, and sure enough, we were. So yeah, fantastic.
I'm I'm still get also I'd like to shout out for the score. I think the score is phenomenal for this one. And one of the things I really enjoy is the music that you damn right. It's a real story. Look it up. It's real. Tom Cruise is insane and I love him. The music that you see in the trailer, which is what really made me hyped for this movie. Because I love when you take the Mission Impossible thing and then you add like a freaking 1,500 piece orchestra to it. Let's just go nuts, right? And it's beautiful. That music is in the film and that style is in the film. And I really appreciate that because sometimes you fall in love with the music that the trailer gives you and it doesn't show up at all, or sometimes it does. And, we end up with like, the first Suicide Squad and that's a whole problem. But, you
Hey.
know, uh, yeah, you can at me. And then it's the music is outstanding from piece to piece. You know what I'm saying? It flows, it moves, it gets you hyped and excited when you hear it. Then there's those hero moments when he's doing the thing and you hear those notes and you just get so, amped up in your chair. And I love that about the score. So kudos to the music team. Beautifully well done.
Absolutely. It was spot on. Honestly, I wasn't gonna do Geekcast ratings, but I actually don't mind it now. So this is the part of the review reaction, right? That we're going to give our Geekcast rating. One being I don't even know what the lowest one would be out of all these. Five being perfect movie, perfect film. And we want to hear from you guys after you get a chance to watch it. Come back, let us know what your rating is for Mission Possible: Dead Reckoning. I'll go first. Honestly, I honestly cannot say that there's much that I would say is flawed movie. It's near flawless, I would say. I think there are some more emotional beats. I would kind of put this one like complete perfect film for me. So it's not a knock on the film, but I'm going to give it as almost as close as I can to a perfect score. I give this one a 4.5. Mr. Ortiz?
Aha. Exactly. I'm with you. I cannot say anything less. 4.5. And only because I need part two. God damn it. There's no part two. I can't watch it right afterwards. And I'm massively disappointed for that. But in the franchise world of Mission Impossible, it ranks way up there for me. Absolutely. So it's a 4.5. I just had a blast going in. I had a blast coming out. I can't wait to see it again in IMAX.
Absolutely. We actually want to give you guys a chance to catch the film as well. If you're in our hometown, if you're in the San Antonio area, you can go see Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part One this Thursday at the San Ticos Palladium IMAX, and you can do so by going to our website at www.countdowncitygeeks.com. Look for the headline that is what you see on the screen, and that's all you got to do. You'll find a link there, click on it, and it'll take you to the website where you can reserve your first come, first serve passes to the film. That link is also in the chat in case you want to go there instead.
Ooh.
But yeah, go see Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning on us for free. The Countdown City Geeks.
Man, I want to go enter that contest now. I want to see that movie
Awesome,
again. Dang it.
everybody. It's going to be one hell of a week. Once again, the Superhero Comic Con and Car Show starts this Friday. Go to pmxevents.com for more information, for ticket information, autograph prices, photo op prices, and everything else you can think of. Maps, where to park, all that stuff. If you have other questions, reach out to us. We might be able to help you, and if not, we'll find someone who will. Don't forget to come see our booth in the expo hall near the IHOP Celebrity Panel stage, and we will be giving away giveaways, freebies, prizes all weekend long. I've been talking to the guys about this for weeks now, and we got a ton of stuff, so we can't wait to see you guys. It's going to be absolutely epic. And shout out again to the team over at PMX Events and the Superhero Car Show and Comic Con for putting on this glorious, massive, what I've been calling for months, Avengers Con. Is basically what it is. All these top actors and actresses from the MCU all showing up in one spot. It's just going to be glorious. That'll do it for us. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And for the Countdown City Geeks, my name is Ted, aka Steady. Joining me on this Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning reaction stream is one and only Brian IMF Ortiz.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Go see the movie and see you at the Comic-Con, ladies and gentlemen.
Have a good night. Peace.
Retro is San Antonio's most popular 80s and 90s retro store. Band tees, stickers, records, DVDs, jewelry, novelties, electronics, collectibles. Real Retro is your #1 source back to the 80s and 90s. Come relive the best years of your life. Real Retro.